Hello, and welcome back to What Does This Button Do? The series where I play games with a lot of passion and not a ton of skill.
And I watch.
My name is Rhiannon.
And I'm Sigma.
And today we are going to resume our playthrough of Tyrion Cuthbert, Attorney of the Arcane. Done some fiddling with the settings, so hopefully we shouldn't have any random picture freezes. And I've also adjusted chat latency, so if you make a comment, it should show up for us while it is still relevant to what's happening.
And not 5 minutes later when it's completely pointless.
Thanks,
YouTube. YouTube.
Please feel free to say hi in chat, comment, like, all of that YouTuber stuff, completely separate from engagement and algorithms. It just makes me feel good.
Aww.
And of course, if you're watching this live and you notice any audio or visual issues, please mention it in chat so that we can take steps to correct them.
We have done a fair bit of futzing about for this particular installment, so yeah, if you'd notice anything, by all means do tell us. If we're too loud, if we're not loud enough.
Okay, and then quick recap. If anyone is turning up who wasn't here last time, our mentor, Ms. Tamura, took us to a remote village tavern where we met Flintheart McCoy and his daughter Celeste. And then while we were visiting, Flintheart was unexpectedly murdered, and Celeste was set up to take the blame. We know she didn't do it, so as her defense attorney, it is now our job to investigate things and prove to the court that she did not commit this murder.
Day one of the trial was a bit of a shit show on account of the fact that the investigating detective, knight, whatever you want to call him, kind of dropped the ball. And forgot to tell the prosecutor about a key piece of evidence. So now we've got to go back and make sure he didn't miss anything.
And so that is where we are going to start up today.
I'm sure he's not going to be pissed off about it at all.
You arrive back at the McCoy Tavern. Luckily for you, the Inquisition set up a teleportation circle for you to use. With that circle, you could magically teleport between Capital and the crime scene instantaneously.
Handy.
It's definitely miles better than having to travel by carriage.
Oh, it's you. What are you doing here? Yeah, he's taking it well.
Commander White takes notice of you as soon as you enter the tavern. It looks like he's working with a team of knights to investigate the crime scene.
I'm the defense attorney in this case. I have just as much right to investigate this crime scene as you do. Yeah, whatever. Just remember, I got my eye on you, kid. Yes, Daddy.
Okay, I guess we start by examining the scene. Let's just look at everything.
The Inquisition lit some candles, but there's a magical lamp right there. I wonder why they're not using those instead. There's a modern... Oh, that's you.
There's a modern-looking lamp mounted on the wall.
It's a lamp powered by artificery. I didn't expect to find something this sophisticated in a town like this. Bah! Artificery is just another form of magic. Actually, artificery draws from surrounding ley lines to... I didn't ask for a science lesson, kid.
I mean, if it's based on ley lines, it's hardly science.
Darling?
Magical sciences, I know.
Don't make me get the Eberron Player's Guide. Well, look where artificery got these folks. The arcane power cell broke, and they haven't had any power for weeks. Yep. Nothing can beat good old oil and flame. He's a pyro. I'm laughing because I am too.
The McCoy Inn is outfitted with several lamps powered by artificery. However, the arcane power cell has been broken for weeks, and the lamps can't be turned on.
So Spingles. I want you to join the circus.
Your line.
It's a painting of a man in a suit. Text on it. Adam Eveleigh, politician of the pedantic.
Beautiful.
I've heard of this guy. He's some kind of politician from...
Sorry.
Do you mind? From one of the nations west of here. I heard he's pretty much a shoo-in to win whatever election we have.
An election? Was Flintheart studying democracies for his little revolution?
Democracies?
Listen.
It's a painting of a mage, and there's some text on it. Samala Dalian, a legendary practitioner of the arcane arts. He mysteriously disappeared one day, which is just a nice way of saying his constituent components were scattered over a 300-kilometer radius. It's rumored that he was developing a formula for a new transmutation spell. However, he was reckless in casting the spell. Dalian quickly lost control of its magic. His body was never found. Many speculate that he didn't actually die during the accident. If that's true, where did he end up? Sounds like a cautionary... Sounds like a cautionary tale against using magic.
That might explain why Flintheart keeps it in his tavern.
You're wearing your heart on your sleeve, but your heart on the wall? That's just ridiculous.
The most important part, there's a chalk outline of a person on the ground of the tavern. This is probably where Flintheart died. The outline matches the picture that the Inquisition took. Nothing seems out of place here.
You mean other than the fact that he was apparently crumping when he died?
There's a broken bottle on the floor. It's shattered close to the chalk outline of the body.
The label has the words Lotus Juice. I've never heard of that brand before. Must be foreign.
The shattered remains of a glass bottle. You found it next to Flintheart McCoy's body. The label says the words Lotus Juice. Okay, let's have a chat with the investigator.
I was wondering if I could ask you some questions about the case. Huh. As if I'd help the likes of you. I saw who your boss is, and I know what you're up to. That would probably be here to call me.
Hey,
What?
Z! Glad you could make it!
Lovely jubbly. Anyway, I thought we wouldn't have an audience. Do let us know how the sound levels are. We've, rejiggered a few things. Also, let us know if we turn into a slideshow again.
Yes, please do.
Anyway. What? I'm just looking for some information. Lovely.
He was cooperative before when he let you see Celeste. Why is he being so stubborn now?
Because you humiliated him in court?
Is he angry that you embarrassed him in court today?
Yes.
In any case, you won't get anywhere at this rate. If you want his help, you'll need to persuade him through an argument. So, before starting an argument with someone, talk to Orem or present items to the psychological profile. Successfully build a profile gauge, you'll receive more information during any arguments against him.
It's a simple matter of...
Tyrion's a bit low, though it looks like I'm a little more on time. Okay. Yes, we adjusted the latency so that your chat messages show up when they are actually relevant. There we go. Turn that up a little bit. And let's have a chat with the inspector. Inquisition.
A most unexpected topic. So, what does the Arcane Inquisition do exactly? You trying to pick a fight with me? No, I'm just genuinely curious. Well, I'm sure you already know. Us Inquisitors investigate crimes that involve magic. Do crimes like this happen often?
Volume balance is good now? Great.
Fantastic. And it looks like your messages are coming through in a timely manner, too.
Yay!
Nah, maybe once in a blue moon.
That makes sense. Most mages are in the nobility, after all. Even if they're untouchable, they don't make a habit of getting into trouble with the law.
You must have an easy job, then. You got that right. The only reason we exist is to clean up the nobility's messes. Grumble.
Doesn't seem that happy about that. Tell me about mages.
Commander White, you seem to speak negatively about my client's magic. Do you have a personal...
English!
Do you mind? Do you have a personal grudge against mages? You're damn right I do.
Wow. You didn't even try to deny it.
And if you had any sense, you would too. All a mage has to do is wave their hands and say some magic nonsense. Then you suddenly have a dead body on the ground. Don't get me started on mage bullying. Why, yes, I do have a... Stop it. Some noble uses their magic too much. They end up snapping and going on a rampage.
Ooh. Interesting.
Don't you love some world building?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is going too far. But why join the Inquisition if you hate mages so much?
Because his job is to get mages in trouble.
Why
Of course he would want to join the Inquisition.
Yeah, why do you think white supremacists keep joining the police force?
Oof.
Oof. Considering the fact that, that my job is to sweep the nobility's crimes under the rug. Sorry. I didn't mean to insinuate. Nope. You have the right of it. Anytime a noble is involved in a case, I'm working the other way. You don't seem very happy to do that. Why would you stay in this line of work? Because every once in a while, I'm allowed to put a criminal mage behind bars. We can't go after the nobles, but any other mage is fair game. Or, at least, they were, before your boss showed up.
Your boss? Does he have something against Miss Tamora? Obviously. Does that open any new questions? It did. Talk to me about Mama Ruby. He is blatant about being a noble's puppet.
Oh yeah, he knows. He also doesn't like it. I have to ask, did something happen between you and Ms. Tamora? Ha! Ms. Tamora.
Hey, don't you be rude.
What are you, her lackey or something? No, actually, she's my guardian. I didn't even know she had a...
Ward?
Look, kid, I don't know what the deal is between you. But no good will ever come from associating with her.
Dude!
This is about the rumors, isn't it?
Throughout the years, there have been several insidious rumors surrounding Ms. Tamora. She's been accused of forgery, blackmail, and all manner of illegal activities.
And moonlighting as a dominatrix.
It's clearly misinformation spread by the nobility to discredit her. She's always been fine with it, but you can't help but get angry on her behalf.
It's more than just rumors. I've seen it for myself.
Don't talk bad about my Dami mommy.
I'm talking bad about your dummy mommy. That woman is evil, kid. That Dommy Mommy is evil, kid. She defends mages who don't have the protection of the nobility.
That's not Aura.
She defends mages who don't have the protection of the nobility. I just said that. You stole my line! She's not evil. She's a hero. Yeah, whatever.
Orem White's psychological profile is complete.
As is the blooper reel.
I'm gonna argue with you. Commander White seems unusually hostile towards you. And you have a feeling it's not just because you embarrassed him in court today. If you can clear up this misunderstanding, you might be able to convince him to help you. What?
Time to beat up an old man. Rhetorically.
In verbal combat.
Alright, I'm just gonna come out and say it. Do you have a problem with me, Commander White? You should know exactly what my problem is with you. I saw who you work for. Do I have to spell it out for you? Or does your boss not tell you what she gets up to?
Evidence. Elocution. Relax. Definitely don't want to defend, because he doesn't like that. But I should defend myself.
Oh, he hasn't attacked you yet.
Yeah. Rationalize, then.
You chose wisely. It doesn't matter how you feel about me or Ms. Timura. What matters is that my client deserves a fair trial with fair representation.
Yeah, my gut feeling was deflect to Z.
Never deflect when you can rationalize. Although that's more my personal philosophy than an actual strategy for this game. All I'm trying to do is give that to her. I've seen that woman do all kinds of shady shit in the cases. Forgery, bribery, blackmail. You name it. I'll bet you're just the successor for the Devil of Defense.
Will respect you if you defend yourself against personal attacks. So I'm gonna go with defend.
I'm not Ruby Timura. It doesn't matter if the rumors are true or not. Regardless of what you've seen her do, I'm going to run an honest case. Look, kid. I'd like nothing more than to believe you. But after everything I've seen her do, I know better. Anyone taught by that woman can't be anything more than a crook.
Rationalize?
Don't ask me. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to laugh when things go horrifically wrong and also make funny voices.
Okay.
Besides, you know what my personal philosophy is.
Yeah, let's rationalize.
Her way of teaching me was ruthless, I'll give you that. But the only thing that she taught me was how to practice law. Have you seen me engage in any crook-like behavior?
Argument 1. We beat up an old man. Verbally.
You just want some info, right? Yes, that's all I'm asking for. Alright, I'll answer your questions. Just don't make me regret this.
You've successfully persuaded Orem White. Hooray! Time to talk more.
This probably goes without saying, but I don't believe that sword is the murder weapon. Right. I guess you have to prove that someone else put the sword there. Did the Inquisition find anything suspicious on the scene? If you're asking we found another bloody weapon lying around, we definitely didn't.
That would be a little too convenient, wouldn't it?
Oh, just a scotch. Let's say that the girl really is being framed. If it was another murder weapon, the killer probably walked out.
That would just make sense.
Think they could have hidden it somewhere in the tavern?
Why would they do that?
Doubt it. After the trial, Steelwind turned the place upside down and scanned it with their magic. If someone did hide a murder weapon here, they hid it well.
Or they hid it in plain sight.
I can't believe you made such an obvious mistake during your investigation.
Salt in the wound! Salt in the wound!
I have a sword, kid. Oh, shut up with that. I already got an earful from Steelwind about that mess. Well, you don't have to worry about me looking things up.
The murderer cast murder sword too!
Steelwind's basically taken over the entire investigation. I'm sorry, Z, but we're not getting another case of addicting the murder sword. Wait, does she have the authority to do that?
Listen, a girl can dream.
Normally, she wouldn't. But I know better than to go against orders from a noble.
Right. There's definitely a strange power dynamic between them.
Honestly, that girl sweats the details. She even had my men draw up a scaled map of the crime scene. Wait, really? Do you have a copy? Knock yourself out. Don't know how much good it'll do you.
Yay! A geometrically scaled map of the crime scene.
Yes.
Let's take a look.
Somebody walk.
Where's my inventory? Here. We make this map in roleplay? A map is always helpful
Z,
in
Z, I cannot wait to see your thoughts on this.
I think I've literally made this map in Roll20.
I know for a fact that Z has. Yes, them's is some Roll20 ass assets indeed. For those who aren't aware, Z is one of two people in our friend group who regularly DMs various tabletop games for us.
Usually using the online Roll20 platform.
On account of, 3 of us live in the same city, and Z ain't one of them.
But anyway.
I heard that this was Prosecutor Steelwind's first trial. She must be pretty talented if that's true. Pain in my ass is what she is. That damned noble comes in here telling me how to do my job. I honestly have no idea what she's even doing in this line of work. I heard that she's from... Nope, sorry, I'm stepping on your lines again. No, it's cool, at least you recognize it. I heard that she's from a renowned noble house.
I've heard about talking to yourself. Next level.
Babe, I've been arguing with myself for the past 2 streams.
This is true.
Be a pretty powerful mage. Powerful is an understatement. The Steelwinds who came before her could turn this entire town into a glass crater.
What? There's no way that's true. Right?
That's true.
Arya Steelwind cast Meteor!
No!
You think you've found everything that you can here. But what does it all mean? There's no murder weapon to be found. And there's no obvious evidence of another person at the scene.
Hey, you okay? You got quiet all of a sudden.
Alright, just focus. Close your eyes and let everything else disappear from the world.
Hey, listening?
So there's no clear evidence pointing to another killer.
Yo, music just kicked up!
Oh yeah.
There is, however, evidence pointing to how Flintheart moved before his death.
What?
What can we tell about how Flintheart died?
No blood trail leading to or from the body. What does this imply about the location of Flintheart's death?
Flintheart didn't move during the murder. This is my ignoring you music. I wish my ignoring you music was that epic.
My ignoring you music is Meatball Parade. Flintheart died when he was attacked.
Where he was attacked.
Or where he was attacked. I can read, I swear. He didn't move from his position at all.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
There's also the autopsy report, which says that he died from a stab from behind. He was probably caught off guard and was too incapacitated to move anywhere else. This means that the attack happened at the exact position he fell over. When and where, yes. I was right, technically. Sort of. I guess.
Crime scene map has been updated in your notes.
There's also the shattered bottle of lotus juice.
How did the bottle shatter?
I doubt it means anything, but the shattered bottle is right next to the body.
Obviously, he dropped it when he was attacked.
Flintheart dropped the bottle when he was attacked. From that, we can infer that he was holding it the moment before he was attacked. Because that's how time works, you see.
Shattered bottle of lotus juice has been updated in your notes.
What's so strange about one bottle, though?
May seem like an insignificant detail. But that detail could help me infer other elements of what happened during the murder.
Right.
There's also the fact that the artificery lights were out. Are these candles here when you arrived at the crime scene, Orem?
No, we had to light some so we could see the crime scene properly. We thought it was weird, too. The girl and her father must have had their argument in pitch-black darkness.
Pressing X to doubt. What can we infer about the state of the crime scene?
So, they didn't light any candles to make up for the broken lights.
Crime scene had no lighting during the murder.
Crime scene had no lighting during the murder either.
Broken power cell has been updated in your notes.
The argument that Celeste had with Flintheart must have been spontaneous. They weren't planning to have a conversation in this room. In this darkness, Flintheart wouldn't have had a lot of visibility. If he was stabbed from behind, he probably didn't see it coming. He was clearly surprised and was probably in too much shock to run away. Also, the bottle may seem insignificant, but he was holding it when he was attacked. Maybe he was pouring a drink for himself? Maybe it was for a visitor.
I think that portrait change was a little premature, but...
No, he's just kind of watching... No, because he's just watching this guy fucking monologuing in front of him. Let's be real. This is a pretty reasonable reaction to just how weird Tyrion is. Either way, the assailant must have been unseen by Flintheart.
Kid?
Or the assailant attacked him from his blind spot while his back was turned. Why would his back be turned, though? Was he distracted by something?
Kid!
What?
What was that all about?
Sorry. Sometimes I get lost in my own thoughts.
Yeah, well, cut it out.
This Sherlock Holmes stick is just weird.
I'm the one in the trench coat, damn it. You're freaking me out.
Right.
Anyway, you think you found everything you can here. You should move somewhere else. What's bothering me the most about this is at no point is the narration acknowledging that Tyrion straight up saw Flintheart after his argument with Celeste, but before he was murdered.
It's a little bit hard to put yourself on the witness stand.
Yeah. But, like, not even in his internal thoughts. Like, I know Celeste didn't do this because I was there.
I mean, yeah. Why would he have to think that, though? Or at least why would he have to think that for our benefit, if we already know?
Anyway. If
Oh,
people
don't you start that.
people keep seeing you here, they're going to start asking questions. Leave the investigation to me. All you have to do is stay quiet until the trial is over. While heading upstairs, you spot the prosecutor having a conversation with someone. They seem to be in some kind of argument. Oh, I thought that was addressed to me.
Enough. I will do as I see fit. You may be a Steelwind, but this is my land. Sorry.
Oh.
You're that defense attorney from the trial. I am? I'm sorry, but who... Ah, how rude of me.
Does question mark boy finally get a name?
Yes, shut up so I can get it. My name is Lord Garrick Pierce, the ruling noble of this land.
Lost her looking ass. I know I made that joke last time.
A little bit. As the ruling noble, I suppose I should thank you for playing your role in the current trial. As misguided as it may be.
Oh, I want to punch that pretty face.
Never threatened to punch my pretty face.
Yeah, because I like you.
I suppose you also think my client is guilty. It does not matter what I think. This entire scandal has done nothing but rile up the common folk. Magic is a gift for the nobility, and the nobility alone.
This man's 38!
Yes, he is.
Ocean of youth.
I'm pretty sure it's just having reasonable access to healthcare.
Yeah, fair enough.
It is a symbol of the aristocracy and our divine right to rule. And now that bastard child has tainted that symbol in the public eye. All of that has nothing to do with her.
Z, I also can't wait to see this man face justice.
She's just an innocent woman who got wrapped up in all this. Even if she is innocent, charges have been laid and made public. Someone must take the fall, lest the public accuse the justice system of corruption.
But if the justice system is corrupt, then...
So you're saying that she should be found guilty even if she's innocent? What do you suppose will happen if she's acquitted? All the public will see is a mage going free despite a myriad of evidence. That alone would be enough to cause public outrage. Tensions between the aristocracy and the common folk are high enough as it is.
I mean, maybe don't do so much corruption then?
Gee, what a thought. What is one insignificant girl when compared to the stability of our great kingdom? That's
Absurd. Ridiculous. Completely misguided.
Fucked?
Yes. That's enough. Stop antagonizing him, Pierce. I can't refute what he said, but I don't agree with it.
What?
The system should be based on truth and justice, not on public opinion. I think we're finding out why she became a prosecutor.
Then why are you working against my client? Do you honestly think she's the kind of person that would kill her father?
It doesn't matter what kind of person she appears to be. The evidence clearly points to her as the only possible killer.
That...
But you should fight according to your own ideals. Just as I will fight for mine.
Yeah, no, A. Cup Edgeworth is alright in my book.
It's hard to get a read on that woman. Let's take a look around. Oh god, do I have to check every door?
Nope.
Check a door. Several doors lead to guest rooms.
Life has many doors, Edboy.
Aside from the rooms that you and Miss Tamura used, they don't look like they've been open for quite some time.
Oh. Oh no, wait, that's not for the doors.
Oh. There's some candles lighting up the hallway. They look like they used to be a part of the old architecture. There's a door at the end of the hallway. It looks like it's seen some use recently. You try to open the door, but it seems to be locked. Perhaps someone might have a key to open it.
Perhaps.
Hey, Orem, you got a key?
Nope.
Would Celeste have a key?
Well, if nothing else, it would be good to check in with your client.
Yes, but I wanted to finish the investigation first. I would have good news to tell her.
Well, I have good news to tell you about the investigation, which has been concluded as far as it can be at this point.
You return to the cell that Celeste is being kept in, where she was taken at the end of last episode when YouTube so rudely cut off our video.
Robble, robble, robble.
The ambient despair in the air fills your mind like a horrendous stench. Oh yeah, I forgot. Real empath problems. You do your best to ignore the emotions of the other prisoners, but you haven't had much practice blocking out this many people. As you arrive, you see Celeste huddled down in a corner. Bean. As soon as she sees you, her dour mood seems to lift, if only for a moment. Oh, hi, Mr. Cuthbert.
There's no need to address me so formally. Just call me Tyrion.
Okay.
I came here to ask you some questions about the case.
Right.
I'm sorry for freezing up like that. I almost lost us the trial.
No, there's no need to apologize. You did great. But it was only thanks to her. If she hadn't calmed you down, who knows what would have happened. But I still don't understand, though. Why were there traces of magic on my dad's body? Right. Those traces of magic were on the sword and the body. Magical traces are particles of magical residue that are left behind when a mage casts a spell. Welcome to the sadness room. Take you to the dour door, which will take you to the dismal cells. Yes. Open your thesaurus.
That's how dungeons work.
Open your thesaurus. They only linger around for 48 hours, and that gives you a rough timeline of when and where a spell is cast. Okay, so it's like...
Radiation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, I was gonna make a
Or sprinkles.
comparison to. I was gonna make a comparison to what I know about real life crime scene investigation.
Oh, yeah.
From my many true crime podcasts. That's like. Anyway, it's gross, so I'm not gonna worry about it.
It is somewhat like picking up trace DNA. Did you cast Mage Blade on your sword that day?
I did. I cast it when I trained during the morning. That explains why there was a trace on the sword, at least. Did the trace on my sword leave the magical trace on my dad's body?
No. Magical traces can't be moved around physically. For a spell to leave a trace, it has to be active when physical contact is made.
Really? What does that mean, then?
Whatever killed your father had a transmutation spell active on it at the time. The magical trace on your sword was just an unlucky coincidence.
I can't believe this.
Tell me more about your father? Sorry, I know this must be difficult after everything that's happened.
No, it's okay. If it helps you, I'll try my best to answer your questions.
Were you too close?
We were. I'm sure you know this by now, but I was adopted by him and my mom. But even though I didn't have their blood, they treated me as if I did. He loved me with all his heart, until... Until? Until what? Does this have something to do with the argument that they had? Obviously.
I'm sorry to say this, but I could hear your argument from my room that night. Could you tell me about what happened?
For as long as I can remember, my dad has hated mages. I'm not sure why, but if you even mentioned magic around him, he'd fly into a rage. So I hid my magic from my family.
But why even learn magic in the first place? If you really wanted to, you could have gone your whole life without using it.
Ever since our tavern closed, my family's been in a lot of debt. I decided to become a mercenary and use magic to enhance my ability to fight. Most mages are in the nobility, so people will pay a lot for a sellsword who can use magic. So that's why she's a mercenary. Celeste McCoy learned magic so she could support her family as a mercenary. Apparently, many people will pay extra for a mercenary that can use magic. But I know now, learning magic was the biggest mistake I've ever made. On that night, my dad found my spell compendium. When he confronted me about it, I finally came clean to him. That's when he flew into another one of his rages. He shouted at me. He told me that I'd betrayed him and his family.
I'm so sorry. Can't imagine how that must have felt.
I deserved every bit of it. I knew how much he hated magic, but I learned to use it anyway. He showed me so much love, and I just threw it all away.
Don't say that. I'm sure he still loved you.
No, I could see it in his eyes. He hated me. He died hating me. You feel a sharp pain in your chest as you see that thought. I felt a sharp pain in my chest as I read it. Let's talk about something cheerier.
So, there's a locked room in the tavern. It's the very end of the hallway upstairs. The Inquisition probably searched it already, but I just wanted to investigate it to make sure.
A locked room at the end of the hallway? I think that's my room.
Do you know how I could get in there? It's the only room in the tavern that I haven't investigated. Yeah.
You feel a suspicious gaze from Celeste.
Yeah, well.
I agree, Z. She did not deserve it.
What's that look for? I'm your lawyer. I'm not going to do anything weird.
Sorry, you're right.
He thinks the lawyer doth protest too much.
Here, you can use this key to get inside. Each is Celeste McCoy's bedroom in the McCoy Tavern. You need to raise friendship. Yeah, you need to get at least 2 hearts to enter her bedroom uninvited.
Oh, honey, no, you gotta get confidant level 10.
I see, you went for Persona, I went for Stardew.
Well, yes.
Nothing else to talk about. Not gonna be any evidence here.
No, she was Lovers or Devil Arcana. You might be able to get in earlier, but... Any other Arcana? 10. Gotta be.
Anyway. You use the key to enter Celeste's room. However, you're startled when you notice that someone else is already inside.
Release the MILF!
I've already told you knights everything that I know. What more do you... Oh? Aren't you Celeste's attorney?
I am. Who are you?
And where did you get that amazing off-the-shoulder number?
And that amazing rack.
The bed does look weirdly realistic, I have to agree. Oh, how rude of me. I'm Jolene McCoy. I'm Celeste's mother. You were just around? We hadn't seen any trace of her. I assumed she was, like, dead or something.
Listen, she keeps old lady hours, okay? I don't know. She's not dead, she's just an early riser.
CZ agrees with me.
She's an early riser and a very heavy sleeper.
Apparently.
I would have thought you of all people would know a thing or two about that.
I'm not an early riser by choice, sir.
I think you'll find no one truly is.
I was at the trial this morning. I can't thank you enough for everything that you've done for my daughter. So, this is Celeste's mother. She might be able to tell you more about Flintheart.
About that. Do you mind if I ask you some questions for my investigation?
Of course. I'll do anything I can to help. I'm gonna look around the room real quick first.
Why does everybody always assume that there's a dead mom in any given animal?
Listen! And between anime and Disney, we can condition. If the parent isn't introduced with the child, they're probably tragically dead.
Well, I feel the need to point out we did get a parent introduced with this child who is now tragically dead.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Like Z said, because it's an anime, we assume there's a dead anime mom involved.
I can't take you fucking weebs anywhere. It's a fancy-looking bed.
Celeste had it custom made.
Wouldn't something like this be really expensive?
It was. I was really surprised when she returned from her travels. Apparently, she was making a lot of gold from her job as a mercenary.
Wow. You and Flintheart must have been happy for her.
We are, but I still wish she'd get a less dangerous job. As any mother would.
Yes.
Yeah, custom-made in Blender. Sounds about right.
Listen, they hired an artist who's really into beds. It's a door leading to the upstairs hallway. That's it. It's just a door.
Aww,
It's a painting of a woman with some sort of aquatic animal.
how cute! It's an axolotl! It is, yes! I love it!
It's an axolotl and she's an axolady.
Oh, I love that painting. Celeste brought it back from her travels. Supposedly, that woman is named Madeline Kipling.
Madeline Kipling? Mudkip?
Oh my god. From what I've heard, she runs a wildlife sanctuary for endangered species. I think the animal in this painting is called a faykip. I want 10. Celeste told me that she really likes them. That's interesting. You weren't aware that these kind of creatures even existed. I love that an axolotl.
Same. It's a table with several chairs. It must be used for entertaining guests.
Doesn't look like it's seen much use, though.
Well, you know, when it's in a girl's bedroom, is it gonna?
Well, I imagine she doesn't have friends over too often.
I mean, that would require her to be home often.
Okay, let's start with the sad.
Can you tell me why your husband hated mages so much? I understand that most people dislike the nobility and associate magic with them. But on that night, it's like he was furious at Celeste specifically because she was a mage.
Oh, you must have talked to Celeste.
Well,
I wasn't-
yes, I'm her attorney. It's kind of what I'm supposed to do.
I wasn't there when their argument happened. I can only imagine what he said to her.
You know what happened to him? Why does he hate magic so much?
Wait, so where were you then?
She's a very heavy sleeper.
Celeste doesn't know about this, but years ago, Flintheart had a sister named Effie.
It's Effie.
Yes, he died.
Well,
Technically correct.
Yeah, well, that is certainly a fatal flaw indeed.
When we were all children, we were friends with a boy named Garrick Pierce.
Hmm?
Oh? He was the son of the ruling noble at the time. Garrick Pierce? Isn't that the nobleman that was speaking with Steelwind earlier? We were all inseparable at the time. He'd always sneak into town to play with us against his family's wishes.
They probably weren't too happy about that.
He was quite rebellious back then. He's a complete person now. But everything changed when Garrick began learning how to use magic. One day, when we were playing together, he wanted to show off the spells that he'd learned. He was told not to use his magic without his instructor there, but he was just too excited. Never trust children with highly destructive power.
Phenomenal cosmic power! Itty bitty casting pens.
He began casting his spells, but something went horribly wrong. He lost control of his magic and fatally wounded Effie. We tried bringing her back into town, but by that time it was too late. She was already gone.
I'm sorry. Must have been traumatizing for all of you.
The next day, the Arcane Inquisition came to investigate what happened. House Pierce used their connections to cover up what happened. They even threatened Flintheart's family into keeping quiet. After that, the official story was that Effie had been mauled by a wolf. That's not surprising. The nobility seldom take responsibility for their actions, even for a mistake like that. Flintheart's sister died during an accident involving Garrick Pierce and his magic. Ever since then, he has hated magic and the mages who wield them. Wield it?
Well, yes.
Something changed in Flintheart after that. He began speaking out against the nobility. Eventually, he started hosting rallies in this very tavern. Each night, more and more people began listening to his words and joining his cause. What a wild thing for nobles to do in this totally fictional scenario.
I know, right? It's completely unheard of and entirely unrealistic.
The number of people that he'd gotten under his banner was terrifying. There was even talk of an outright revolution against the kingdom. That might explain why someone would go out of their way to kill him. I knew how much danger he was putting himself in. But no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't convince him to stop. His attitude didn't even begin to change until we adopted Celeste. Tell me about Celeste.
Excuse me. Can you tell me more about Celeste? How did she become a part of your family?
It all happened many years ago, back when the McCoy Tavern was still open. We were closing one night when we found a baby with white hair abandoned in the dining area. We waited weeks for her parents to come by, but no one ever came looking for her. I mean, people don't usually forget their baby in a bar by accident. You're giving me a weird look, like you know that's wrong.
Yes, it is wrong. Are you familiar with this concept called inebriation?
Okay, but inebriation doesn't last weeks.
No. No, that usually involves stupid.
Anyway.
Yes. And that baby was Celeste?
Yes. Flintheart and I had always wanted a child. I thought Celeste must have been a gift from the Scaled Lord. But one day I saw Celeste practicing her magic. I think that's when I realized that someone from the nobility must have abandoned her at our inn. I didn't care, though. I loved her all the same. I'm sure Flintheart did, too.
Wait, you knew that she was a mage all this time?
I did. You haven't known her very long, but she's a terrible liar. Flintheart must have noticed, too, but I think that he didn't want to believe it. It's my fault. I should have forced him to see the truth. Survivor's guilt!
I spoke with Celeste earlier. She thinks that her father hated her because she was a mage. Kind of a pastel brown.
Yeah. There's no way he would ever feel that way. He loved her more than anything in the world. No matter what he said to her that night, nothing would ever change that. After seeing them together, you figured as much. Celeste was the world to him. Yeah, the hair colors do not match, see?
I'm gonna go ahead and confirm it for y'all. Celeste and Pierce are not related. Thank fuck.
You are not the father! When we adopted her, it was the first time in decades that I'd seen him so genuinely happy.
They must have been really close.
More than anything. Do you want to hear a story? Celeste had just returned from her travels. She wouldn't stop talking about this foreign drink that she loved. I think it was called lotus juice or something strange like that. Well, Flintheart did everything he could to have it shipped here. He called in a bunch of favors with some of his revolutionary friends, but in the end he was only able to get a single bottle of it.
Is it really that rare?
Ooh, indeed.
Ooh, indeed.
Yes. I wouldn't be surprised if it were the only bottle of lotus juice in the region.
Oof.
Wait a minute. Lotus juice?
Oh good, the narrator's slow on the uptake.
Is this the bottle that Flintheart bought?
You show her a picture of the shattered bottle that you found next to Flintheart's body. It is! Oh no, he was going to surprise her with it. Yeah, it was the only bottle in the region.
Oof. I found the broken pieces next to Flintheart. Well, I found them in the dining area.
Nice recovery. That's strange. He'd been keeping it in our room so she wouldn't find it.
Really? When was the last time you saw it?
Oh! Did he feel bad so he came up to get it and he was gonna leave it out for her to find when she came back?
Why are you looking at me like I'm going to answer this question?
Because you're the only other person in the room and I was looking for a reaction. Anyway, last time you saw it.
It's a live stream!
Right before I left the house that night. So she wasn't in the house that night!
Okay, so maybe she gets up to some late-night activities to make ends meet.
It was right before their big argument. So it wasn't just laying around in the bar. He decided to retrieve it after the argument. Shattered bottle of lotus juice has been updated in your notes. Alright, you think you've investigated everything you can for now. But there's still one last thing you need to do. Ready yourself for one last conversation with Celeste.
Jolene, 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 Jolene. I'm begging of you, please don't take my man.
Oh, you're back!
Because he's a bisexual disaster?
Did you forget something?
Actually, there's one last thing I wanted to talk to you about.
Oh?
Earlier you said something that I just can't let go. You said that your father died hating you. But after everything I heard about him, I don't think that's true.
Tip in your hand a bit, Tyrion. She didn't say that out loud.
True. Although with any luck, she won't put that together. Your father loved you, Celeste. Even in his final moments.
You desperately want to reach her. If she keeps believing that he hated her, that thought will eat away at her for the rest of her life. You know that better than anyone. He's just lying to make me feel better. It looks like it won't be that simple. You'll need to win an argument against her if you want her to see the truth.
Right.
Argue with the bean!
Argue with the bean!
Gently. Celeste believes that her father died hating her. But after seeing them together and learning about them, you know that can't possibly be true. You just need to convince her of that. Shing! I know you're just trying to make me feel better, and I really do appreciate it. I know you're an abysmal self, but argue with me real quick.
Look, I know you're in a dismal cell, but argue with me real quick.
But everyone knows that my father hated mages. He's always hated magic. There's no reason behind it. Sister.
Yep. I don't know if it's my place to say this, but there's a reason why your father hated magic so much.
What?
When Flintheart was a child, he had a younger sister. She was tragically killed by a mage decades ago. That's why he had such an immense hatred for magic.
I never knew. That doesn't change anything. That's all the more reason for him to have hated me. I knew how much he hated magic, but I still learned to use it anyways. Magic killed someone that he loved. No wonder he was furious. You did it to help your family earn money.
But you didn't learn magic to benefit You didn't learn magic to benefit yourself, did you?
Excellent elocution.
What kind of magic is elocution?
You learned it to save your family after your tavern was shut down.
That's...
You're a good person, Celeste. And you did everything you could to help your family. I'm sure your father recognized that.
Just shut up.
What?
Shut up! Just stop it! Whatever composure she had before is slowly breaking down, and my boyfriend has become a dog whistle. You weren't there! You didn't hear what he said to me! I could see it in his eyes! There's no way he would ever forgive me!
But he got the juice!
Take a look at this picture, Celeste.
Look at this photograph!
Tyrion is blowing raspberries at everyone today.
Not Tyrion, I'm just really bad at talking, okay?
What? A shattered bottle? Wait, is that a bottle of lotus juice?
Do you know where I found this? On the floor of your family's inn.
What? That can't be true. I tried to find it here, but no one sells it in Wyverngard.
Your father knew how much you loved this drink. He called in quite a few favors just so he could have it imported for you.
What? He did that?
Your father didn't hate you, Celeste. He loved you more than anything.
That doesn't change anything. If he did all that for me, it was before he knew about my secret. I'm sure he never would have done that if he knew the truth.
That's not true at all.
How would you know about him? You barely even knew him! How could you possibly know how he felt about me? Don't you think I want to believe that he still loved me before he died? But I know the truth. There's no way he would ever forgive me for what I did.
It's not just the fact that he bought that drink for you. It's also where the bottle was when it shattered.
What do you mean?
Your mother said that the bottle was stowed in her room before your argument. But I found the shattered bottle in the lobby, where his body was. I ran into him before I went to look for you. He was going upstairs to his room. That can only mean one thing.
Fucking onion fairy in here.
Oh, Bean. Oh, don't cry, Bean. Oh, baby.
Okay, now you're just freaking infantilizing.
Sorry. You went to retrieve the bottle after your argument ended.
What? Why would he have it?
It's because he was going to give it to you, Celeste. He was going to give you a gift to apologize for what he said to you.
Okay, so I was half right. He was going to apologize?
Your father loved you, Celeste. And, as tragic as it is, he was going to try to apologize to you before he was murdered.
I don't like this. My daughter, working as a mercenary of all things.
Dad? You know I can handle myself.
I don't doubt it. But you still shouldn't have to risk your neck for our sakes.
They closed the inn, Dad. We won't be able to survive unless I do this.
Just be careful, okay? I don't know what I'd do if anything happened to you. No matter what anyone says, you're our daughter. I will love you until the day we die.
Dad? Could I ever think that... I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Dad. Celeste has barely been keeping it together throughout the whole argument, but her realization is finally causing her to break down. She begins crying loudly as she quickly embraces you. In this cold, dark place, she probably hadn't felt warmth of any kind for days. You're caught off guard and feel a little embarrassed, but you comfort her while she vents her emotions.
It will be okay. There.
Argument 1? Question mark?
Feeling better?
Yeah, I think I'm okay now. I've been thinking such horrible things this entire time. He looks at you and gives you a warm smile. It's probably the first time you've seen her genuinely smile since this whole ordeal started. Thank you. But is everything really going to be okay?
I'll make sure of it. I'll get justice for you and your father. It doesn't matter who stands in my way. Even if they're a man, king, or a god.
You're completely different now. What happened to the nervous wreck from before?
I love that
love that's right. Sassy queen.
Oh, she's so sassy. No, please forget about that. Just take some time to rest. Trial is going to resume soon.
With that, you've done everything you can for now. You've learned a lot about what happened the night of the murder. You just hope it's enough. But even with your investigation, you still don't know what the prosecution has planned. Has Pierce told you all the details, Mr. Rudolph? Will you remember them?
Yes. I pride myself on my eidetic memory.
Just so there are no misunderstandings. I do not approve of this.
You said it yourself, Lady Steelwind. There's no possible way that I could have done the deed. It has to be the bastard child. We don't know what sort of tricks Ruby Tamora might pull. Just see this as a way of securing a just verdict.
But Ruby Tamora is not going to be the defense attorney tomorrow.
Yes, indeed. And on that note, I'm going to ask that we take a very short break between scenes so I can refill my delicious beverage.
Okie dokie.
Yeah.
Voice acting is thirsty work!
It is. And we both had a lot to say.
Whew. I really hate arguing with myself.
You didn't have to yell and cry, though.
Nope. That's coming up. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about that, everybody.
That's okay. We're doing good on time.
I reckon we can probably finish this up before 10. Well,
Okay.
maybe not before 10, but probably by shortly after.
Okay. I'd kind of rather not stay up too late.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem with streaming on a Monday night.
Yeah. Well, it kind of happened by accident the first time, because I just got in the game and really, really wanted to play it right away.
So what, we're just committing to our mistakes now?
I don't know, it was easier to just say, we'll be back next Monday.
Right. Well, now that we're talking about it out loud, on stream, which is a very professional way of handling it, let's be honest, maybe we ought to reconsider our scheduling.
Okay. Do we want to wrap this up tonight and then come up with, stream next time on a different day, or do we want to go ahead and stop here?
I say we quit faffing about and power through.
Alrighty, then let's go. Alright, it's time.
Do pardon all the weird noises. My headphones have a mind of their own.
Hello, Cuthbert.
Oh, hi, Mr. Mora.
You're a lot less jumpy than you were yesterday. I'm glad to see that you're finally getting used to things. So, what did you find in your investigation?
Lotus juice.
Tell Ms. Tamora about everything you've learned over your investigation. There aren't a lot of clues that point to what actually happened.
Yeah. I know a lot of details about the crime scene, but nothing about the crime itself. This means I'll have to rely solely on pointing out contradictions in the witnesses' testimonies.
Being reactive to the prosecution's moves is a valid strategy. Honestly, I think it was a miracle you got the commander to cooperate with you at all. Right, you almost forgot. Commander White appears to really have it out for Miss Tamora.
Actually, I wanted to ask about that. Did something happen between you and Commander White?
Oh, they fucking. Dang it.
Yes.
Ms. McCoy, please proceed to the courtroom with your counsel.
Okay, I wasn't sure who was gonna voice the bailiff.
I don't even know why I went with that voice.
Good voice. No notes. Let's go, Tyrion. The trial's about to start.
Today, the part of the bailiff will be played by Mr. Plinkett.
You should go. The judge is waiting.
Right.
Another secret is left buried between you two.
Aw, George, how's your big bald head?
Court is now resumed for the trial of Celeste McCoy. Let us review the proceedings from yesterday. Yesterday, the defense presented some shocking oversights made during the investigation.
Yes, I personally saw to it that the investigation was conducted properly this time.
I see. I suppose that puts my mind at ease.
At yesterday's trial, we found an inconsistency between the crime scene photo and the autopsy report. Because of this, the defense tried to push the following narrative: that a third party must have interfered with the crime scene to frame the defendant. However, the prosecution has discovered another explanation. Because of that, the individual who discovered the body would like to testify as to what he saw that night. His eyewitness account will clear up what actually happened.
Interesting. It was my understanding that the individual in question wanted to remain anonymous.
Supposedly, this witness was within the gallery of the trial yesterday. After yesterday's proceedings, he felt that he couldn't stay silent any longer. So that's her plan. But why would the witness change his mind like that? Because he was told to by his boss.
Mm-hmm.
Did Steelwind persuade him? Or is something else happening here? Like him being told to by his boss?
Bad instincts, I'll give him that.
Very well. Let's hear from this witness. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court.
Y'all ready for this?
My name is Reese Reginald Rudolph.
Reginald.
I'm a chauffeur of the equine variety.
I can't get over the triple R name. I'm sorry. It's so good.
Yes, my parents also thought so.
I'm terribly sorry, but I'm unfamiliar with that profession.
He means to say that he's a carriage driver.
I see. But in any case, it is my understanding that you found the body. Am I correct, Mr. Rudolph?
Rudolph appears to be writing something in a notebook. I was about to say it's too normal for a right-alike witness, and then he hit us with the RRR. He writes with incredible speed. His pen only touches the paper for maybe a second before he spilled an entire page.
Honestly,
God, teach me to write like that.
I kind of wish they did. I honestly wish they'd animated that.
Teach me how to write like that. I feel like I think too fast for my pen.
Mr. Rudolph, this is highly irregular.
Forgive me. I was merely taking notes on the people in this room.
Taking notes? What is this witchcraft of which you speak? This court operates specifically on oral tradition.
The witness has a certain compulsion to keep a record of every event that he witnesses.
I see.
Ah, so you're like that girl from the Adnan Syed case who's presented key evidence because when she found out that her friend was accused of committing a murder, she went home, sat down with a legal pad and wrote down to the minute everything she could remember about the day in question. And still has this pristine freaking legal pad with all the information on it.
I feel the need to point out that this is not an Ace Attorney thing. This is a true crime thing.
Yes, this is a real life thing. Forgive me, I was just writing the next scene in my fanfiction.
Forgive me, I was just writing the next scene in my fanfiction.
It's right worth smut, you see.
Yes, well, do carry on. And I assume we will receive an accurate testimony of how you found the body.
Actually, I witnessed much more than that. I saw the crime scene at... See? It's not just the defense who can do that. Saw the crime scene as it was being committed. I ought to be committed.
You did the same thing.
I did it. Yeah, well, like I said, I ought to be committed. And I wrote down everything that I saw. I saw the crime as it was being committed. I can say the thing, I swear.
What? That is quite the claim. If that's true, why did you choose to remain silent until now?
We had initially concluded that the evidence alone was decisive enough.
You were wrong.
Therefore, we saw no need at the time for his testimony. However, those circumstances clearly changed during yesterday's trial. I'm having a hard time holding on to Arya's range. There's no way the prosecution wouldn't leverage eyewitness testimony from the start. I have an eidetic memory and a fat
I have an eidetic memory and a fat tongue.
Something else is happening here. Put the witness in his straitjacket for his own safety.
It's secretly just calculating. I'm sorry, I need
I'll give you a minute. Oh my.
Very well. Mr. Rudolph, please testify to the court about what you saw that night. Preferably without without any of that more weird tongue bullshit.
I was transporting a client in my carriage that evening. We were driving by the McCoy Tavern when we heard a disturbance. This occurred at 1:28 a.m.
That's a very specific time.
Listen, no one has a tie that straight. And
Oh no, I've broken the judge. So you're faulty.
yeah, sure, the judge. She broke the judge. Clearly not the voice actor who's responsible for 50% of the voice cast. And is also a giggly bitch.
Serious testimony. We're talking about a murder.
Worried that something was amiss, I walked into the establishment to see what the commotion was about. There, I saw the defendant. She was lit by the blue glow of the dining room lights. She had stabbed Flintheart McCoy and was channeling magic into her sword. She removed her sword from Flintheart's chest, and as he slowly turned to face her, she stabbed him again in the front. She soon realized that I had witnessed a heinous crime. She let the body fall to the ground and fled the scene.
Bullshit.
Incredible.
Everything you just said was bullshit.
Incredible. Every single word of that was wrong. If everything occurred as the witness described, I see no room for debate.
Of course, the evidence has always been irrefutable. You don't remember seeing him when you left to look for Celeste,
Yes, well, he's all in black, very stealthy.
but it was pretty dark.
Like a posh ninja.
Celeste, did you see that man that night?
No, this is my first time meeting him. And I didn't see him when I ran out of the tavern that night.
So he has to be lying.
Does that mean he's the one who killed my dad?
She tries her best to hide it, but you can sense her restlessness.
It's hard to say right now, but it's definitely a possibility.
The defense may now begin their cross-examination.
She can't have been lit by the glow of the lights because the lights were not functioning.
Aha! Undone by terrible Ohio infrastructure!
Mr. Rudolph, you testified that you saw my client murdering the victim.
Oh hey, it's the scene from the prologue.
Oh hey, it's the scene from the prologue. And you supposedly saw her casting magic while doing so? Yes, I could never forget such a grisly sight. That moment was burned into my memory. I see. Well, it's funny that you say that.
Dramatic thunderclap, thank you.
Yes,
Atmospheric weather outside.
apologies if anybody can hear that. We are having a bit of a Cincinnati weather night. How so? Because your entire testimony was a complete lie. What?
Are you accusing the witness of perjury?
Are you calling him a liar?
I ain't calling him a truther!
Surely you know that such accusations can't be made lightly, Mr. Cuthbert.
My accusation is far from baseless, Prosecutor Steelwind. Take a look at this report. The dining room lights are artificery devices that are powered by an arcane power cell.
How dare you allow it to storm while streaming? I know.
Listen, it's Cincinnati. We don't get a choice. However, that same arcane power cell was broken during the time of the murder. The dining room lights had no energy, and the room would have been pitch black. The witness couldn't have seen anything, much less a homicide. Wait, I can explain.
There's no need, witness. You could have easily seen another source of light. Perhaps one of the McCoys lit a candle because of the blackout.
The witness clearly described a source of blue light. Candle or lantern wouldn't emit a color like that.
Then the witness was clearly mistaken.
The witness record... The witness records everything he sees in his notebook. He even remembers the exact times that each event occurred. So why would he be incorrect about such a clear and obvious detail?
Meticulousness is your downfall.
And all this time I thought it would be my fat tongue. No. What the witness saw was clearly some form of magic.
Fat tongue disease is spreading.
I hate you so much.
It's contagious.
See? And due to the lack of power, it couldn't have been artificery. It must have been an arcane spell. That's it. What is it, witness? I must have made an incorrect assumption. Please, allow me to revise my testimony.
What do you think of this, Prosecutor Steelwind? I have a very good grumble face.
If the witness wants to revise his testimony, then I see no harm in obliging him.
Okay, but did you see my grumble face? That was a very good grumble face.
Yes,
That
it
was
was,
a
Your
9
Honor.
out of 10 grumble face.
Yes, it was, Your Honor.
Please don't indulge me, it just makes it worse.
And you, Mr. Cuthbert?
Well, Your Honor, I think that was probably a solid 8.5, maybe a 9. Well, if he thinks he saw something different, then it's only fair to hear him out.
We'll tear through each of his lies no matter what he does. That's the new line.
I remember now. Yesterday it was revealed that Flintheart was killed using magic. I must have seen Flintheart's daughter channeling a magic spell. The spell was called Mage Blade, am I correct? That's it! The blue glow that I saw must have been created by Mage Blade.
Is that an effect of the spell?
Well, go look at the spell and tell me. I mean, if he wants to waste our time lying some more, sure. I get paid by the hour.
Yellow radiant glow.
Yellow radiant glow.
I see. So, the blue light that you saw came from the defendant's magic and not from a K-Rock special.
Generation Z is now very confused.
Mr. Cuthbert, you may proceed with your cross-examination.
With
I don't need to press anything.
Mr. Rudolph, you don't know much about magic, do you? Of course not. Are you trying to say that I should have recognized Celeste's Mage Blade? No, I admit that you probably wouldn't know about Mage Blade. But that's exactly where your mistake was. My mistake? Mr. Rudolph, if you were aware how Mage Blade works, then you would know that the spell emits a yellow radiant glow. Which means the blue glow you saw couldn't have possibly been Mage Blade.
This is ridiculous. I'll grant you that the witness clearly remembers seeing a blue glow. But what significance could such a minor detail have?
I would say the color is pretty damn significant.
I would say the color is pretty damn significant. Prosecutor Steelwind.
Professor Steele.
Prosecutor Steelwind. She has a doctorate. She has a doctorate in arguing with people. If the witness did see a blue magical glow, then he must have witnessed another spell of the scene.
Preposterous. You don't have any evidence to back up that claim.
That blue light made a large impression on the witness. He wrote it down in his book, and he specifically mentioned the color. There's no way he would be mistaken about something like that. Nope. So what did you really see, Mr. Rudolph? Did you see my client at the scene casting a spell that she couldn't possibly cast? Or did you see another mage at the scene? Well...
Your Honor, the defense has no right to accuse the witness like this.
Let me remind you that perjury is a crime, Mr. Rudolph. If you are found to have lied in your testimony, you will be prosecuted. No, wait, please! Now that is quite enough of that. Hello.
Garrick Pierce suddenly steps down from the gallery and walks to the witness stand. This is a very Ace Attorney move. He's breaking every possible rule in the book, but no one in the room moves to stop him. The bailiff looks to the judge nervously, but the judge just narrows his eyes and carefully watches Pierce.
Your Honor, should I maybe... never mind, I'll go fuck myself.
Pierce, meanwhile, shoves the still flustered Rudolph off the stand and begins addressing the courtroom.
I bit my tongue. I bit my very fat tongue.
The Crown Prince of Jerkery has arrived.
Oh, please, he's just a minor lord of jerkery. We'll meet the Crown Prince later.
Who is not a jerk. What is he even doing here?
I will not stand by while you harass my servant.
My tongue!
Pierce, we discussed this. There is no need for you to take the stand.
And what, pray tell, did they discuss?
The Marquis of Jerkery.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Not to be confused with the Marquis of Jerky. Lord Jack Lane.
Y'all can't see it, but I am nodding in agreement. Nonsense. I have nothing to hide. And if you had done your job properly, I wouldn't have needed to intervene.
For the first time, Steelwind doesn't seem to have control of the situation. She had control of the situation?
I object. That was objectionable.
What is the meaning of this, Miss Steelwind? Who is this man?
This is Garrick Pierce, Your Honor.
That is Lord Garrick Pierce to you, Steelwind. I am the honorable heir to the Pierce noble house. In any case, I must apologize. I'm afraid that these misunderstandings are entirely my fault.
What do you mean?
You see, Rudolph wasn't the one who witnessed the crime that fateful night. It was me. I was the one who witnessed the crime. I had my driver report the...
Sorry.
Do you mind,
That was an accident.
commoner? I had my driver report the body so that I could remain anonymous. What? Are you saying that you had Rudolph lie for you? I simply dictated to him what I saw and had him repeat that to law enforcement. Yeah, that's hearsay, fucker. It simply wouldn't do for a member of the nobility to appear publicly in court.
And that's hearsay, fucker. Lord Pierce, regardless of your intentions, this is a very clear act of perjury. Well, hearsay, but...
But from the look on the judge's face, you can easily tell that he won't face any actual consequences.
Just empty anger.
Like a rich white man, or a police officer.
Or a rich white police officer.
I understand, and I will accept the consequences of that.
It's
I.e.,
just-
fuck off. But I would be remiss if Rudolph's shoddy testimony allowed that girl to escape her crimes. Please, let me testify as to what I saw that night.
Very well. This is highly irregular, but I believe the court will benefit from hearing your testimony.
Oh, sweetie, we haven't even begun to get irregular here.
I'd better get my fiber. However, know that this misconduct has hurt your credibility.
Very well. On the night of the murder, I found myself unable to sleep. So I went on a leisurely carriage ride around Cornhaven.
I forgot the town's called Cornhaven. Okay.
Hey, stop.
I happened to be passing by the McCoy Tavern when I heard a loud commotion from within the building. Curious, I stopped my carriage and took a single step inside the establishment. Then, I saw the scene inside. I saw the defendant stabbing that poor man twice with her sword. Garrick Pierce. He's a member of the nobility.
That means that he's probably a mage, right? And he's the only other mage that was there that night. Does that mean...
There's no doubt about it. He's the only person that could have left a trace of transmutation on the body. He has to be the mage that we're looking for. Sorry. This must be a lot for you right now.
Don't worry about me. Focus on taking him down.
This one might be a little trickier.
Yeah, I might have to press some things. Well, it never hurts to press everything.
That seems like a strange way to pass the time.
Not that you believe him for a second. The witness's eccentricities are beside the point.
Hey.
What matters is that he was clearly at the scene.
I wouldn't quite put it that way. But, nevertheless... I'm guessing this commotion was the argument between my client and the victim? One would conclude that, yes. What, don't you take carriage rides through corn when you can't sleep?
Isn't. As we all know, both of them became quite loud during their argument. It's not unreasonable to say that the witness heard them from his carriage. I don't know, carriages are pretty fucking loud.
Yes, but Rudolph is a very good driver, even if his tongue is a bit thick.
If he was at the tavern entrance, that would mean he was here. Crime scene map has been updated in your notes.
You saw the entire scene from the tavern entrance? It would be quite dark considering that the lights weren't operational. Even if my client was using Mageblade at the time. Ah, of course. I'd forgotten that detail. I couldn't see what was happening, so I used my magic to illuminate the scene. Used magic at the crime scene? Yes, I remember it clearly.
Just now, that you have reminded me that that's a detail I needed to account for in my lie.
Conjured a blue light to illuminate the scene. That same blue light must have been what my driver saw. I thought that Rudolph didn't witness the crime at all.
If I had to guess, Mr. Rudolph must have seen the blue light from the carriage. He must have made that detail a part of his testimony earlier. That actually makes a lot of sense now that you think about it. Rudolph was so sure that he saw a blue light. It would be strange if he was lying about that.
Regardless, which spell did you use to illuminate the scene? It was the Conjure Light spell.
For the duration of this spell, a mote of magical light appears in the caster's hand. The color of the light is chosen by the caster and can be changed at will for the spell's duration. This mode of light provides illumination up to 15 feet of the caster, and no further.
This far. No farther. Your Honor, if the witness used magic at the crime scene, then I'd like for its spell compendium to be added to the court record.
I see no reason to invade the witness's privacy over a trivial illumination spell.
I agree. The defense would need a stronger reason to requisition the witness's spell compendium.
Right you are, Your Honor. Your wisdom is truly fitting of your station.
Don't tell me the Roll20 sizing is actually going to come into play. I think it is. Oh, shut up.
Lol.
I can't bring my little Roll20 arrow up, but, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You cannot possibly have seen that from there. Do I present the map or the spell info?
Well, I'd say spell info in this situation.
Objection!
Lord Pierce, you said that you illuminated the scene from the tavern entrance. And you only took a single step into the building? Of course. I remember it very clearly. I stood only at the entrance. In that case, I'd like for you to take a look at the map of the tavern. If we take a look at this map, that'll place you right here where the W is. Am I correct?
I've set the map to Wumbo, you see.
Of course I was. I do not know what you wish to achieve by having me repeat that fact. Well, I find it interesting that you illuminated the crime scene from all the way back there. Considering that Conjure Light only illuminates an area within 15 feet. What?
The spell's range is irrelevant. We've already established that the victim would have been illuminated by Mate's Blade.
During his testimony, Lord Pierce clearly stated that he couldn't see what was happening. That's why he cast Conjure Light in the first place. However, Conjure Light doesn't work like a normal source of light. It only provides illumination up to 15 feet of the caster and no further. Yes, I'm rules lawyering now.
Well, he is a lawyer.
If he had stayed at the entrance, his spell wouldn't have done anything to help illuminate the scene.
But what does this mean? Lord Pierce, did you illuminate the crime scene or not?
Well, I can answer that question for you, Your Honor. Lord Pierce did illuminate the scene of the crime. He illuminated it because he was standing right where it happened.
Mr. Cuthbert, are you trying to say that Lord Pierce was that close to where the murder occurred? How would that be possible?
Well, there's only one way this scenario would make sense, Your Honor. And that would be if Garrick Pierce was the one who murdered Flintheart McCoy. Rabble, 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 rabble. Hold on for a moment, this is absurd! I could have easily used a different spell to illuminate the room.
Then why didn't you testify that that's what you did?
Because I'm an idiot, that's why! And which spell would that be, Pierce? Name escapes me.
Well, let's just take a look at your spell compendium then.
No! We may not have an Edgeworth, but we are getting a new. I'm not sure which one it was now that I think about it.
You idiot.
Well, maybe we can figure it out together. When you relinquish...
It keeps happening.
I'm bad at talking, okay? Don't yell at me! Don't laugh at me! Ah!
Just read the line.
When you relinquish your spell compendium to the court. What? This is a clear violation of my privacy! Steelwind, why aren't you objecting to this?
Because he's right, dumbass.
Oh, shit! XZ, I think.
If you had listened to my instructions, you wouldn't be in this situation. You've made your bed. Now eat it.
You fucking knew! You knew! You fucking...
So Sorry, that's a favorite Malfour of ours, so we use it a lot.
Shout out to Tom Fox for that one.
Made your bed. Now lie in it.
Tailwind, you treacherous! That's way too much fiber!
Do you even know how much fiber is in Goose Town?
That's enough. It appears that the prosecution has no objections. Although I do think the witness may be a bit down in the mouth. With everything that has occurred, I must ask that Lord Pierce relinquish his spell companion to the court and stop eating his pillow.
Garrick Pierce's spell compendium has been added to your notes. Garrick Pierce's spell compendium. It contains formulas for the following spells. Prestidigitation, that's a hard one. Conjure Light, Conjure Water, Frost Wave, and Sheath Liquid.
Oh, he's certainly doing a lot of relying, alright. Thank you, Z.
Prestidigitation. The caster creates a simple and harmless visual effect around their hand. This effect will last for as long as they maintain concentration on this spell. Conjure Water. Causes water to magically flow out of the caster's hand. This water will flow so long
Magically
as...
flows. Two magically flows.
This water will flow so long as the caster maintains concentration on the spell.
I make fun, but like I said before, indie game.
And they are regularly patching with typo fixes, so...
Just at least one a day, in fact.
Anything caught within range is hit with a blast of extremely cold air. Liquid hit will be immediately frozen, and organic life will immediately enter stages of hypothermia. You think this is what killed, Flintheart's sister?
You know.
While concentrating on this spell, the caster can magically manipulate up to 10 liters of liquid and form it into complex shapes.
I mean, they're complete too, but...
At any time, the caster can choose to freeze the liquid and solidify its current shape. While frozen, the caster can also choose to make the liquid instantaneously melt. You could have made a, Ice Blade? Good job, Tyrion! We got a spell compendium! That, this case, is as good as yours. Damn, he's got spells in there. And again, our only comparison knows only one, so it's hard to tell if that's a lot.
He's got us spells. Z, you don't get an excuse. You're not a game.
Or is it? She didn't even try to stop you from taking his spell compendium. Well, she's clearly done with him.
Yeah, no, at this point she's completely past the point of
She
protecting
wouldn't let that happen just to spite Lord Pierce. Oh yeah, she would.
She would.
She definitely still has something up her sleeve.
I mean, that might also be. Your Honor, I've looked at the spells in Lord Pierce's compendium. Conjure Light is the only spell that he can cast that would shed a blue light. This renders his testimony and many of his statements false.
Fat Finger's almost as bad as Fat Tongue. You can practically hear Lord Pierce grinding his teeth.
Your Honor, Lord Pierce could very well be a suspect in the murder of Flintheart McCoy. The defense argues that this presents enough reasonable doubt to acquit the defendant.
Well, no.
I acknowledge that Lord Pierce's actions are quite suspect.
Is
Let's get there. Let me talk, damn it. I'm the judge. However, I will not pass a verdict just yet. There is much more we need to learn.
What? That's not how it works. We proved that there's reasonable doubt. That should be enough to acquit me, right?
In a normal case, maybe. But it's different for this trial. The public won't accept an unsolved homicide involving magic. Unless we can unequivocally prove your innocence, the court will keep drawing out this case.
What? That's not fair.
That's just how the system works. Doesn't matter if you have fat fingers or not. Our court system doesn't exist to exact justice. It exists so that the kingdom can save face.
No.
However, the court will be suspending the trial of Celeste McCoy until further notice. That is, until Lord Pierce can be investigated as a possible suspect.
Objection!
Oh. I? A possible suspect? The very idea of that is preposterous, Your Honor. Damn it. You knew she was planning something. Let's revisit the basic facts of this case, shall we? Flintheart McCoy was murdered using a blade with a transmutation spell active on it. Mr. Cuthbert, why don't you tell me the spells that Lord Pierce knows?
You're gonna want to remember that, Z. Alright. The spells are Prestidigitation, Conjure Light, Conjure Water, Frost Wave, and Shape Liquid.
You've realized it too, haven't you? Lord Pierce doesn't know any transmutation spells that can be channeled through a solid object.
What? That can't be right. You're right. You're absolutely right, Lady Steelwind. I couldn't have possibly committed the murder.
I see. With that in mind, that would leave the defendant as the only possible killer.
But he was the only other mage there. He has to be the real murderer.
But he doesn't know any transmutation spells that can affect a solid object.
But he knows a transmutation spell that can create a solid object.
Listen,
I know, we're getting there.
we're good at it. We are a little too good for this game. At least, where it's at right now.
Yeah.
We can't prove that he stabbed him while casting magic.
Possibly have done it, says everyone who ever does the murder. Wait a minute. How did he do it then? She's right. How did he do it? If there are traces of transmutation magic on the wound, then Flintheart was definitely stabbed by something magical. But none of his transmutation spells can affect a steel blade. Does that mean that he used something else?
There it is. Tyrion's not quite as dumb as he lets on.
The defense did cast some doubt on this witness's testimony. Nevertheless, I must conclude that he could not have possibly committed the murder. With that in mind...
Objection!
Please wait, Your Honor. We still can't conclude that Lord Pierce didn't... We still can't conclude that Lord Pierce couldn't have committed the crime. Didn't have. What are you on about? Lady Steelwind said it herself, you commoner. I don't know any spells that can be channeled through a metal blade.
He's right. Which can only mean one thing.
You didn't use a metal blade, did you?
I didn't use any blade at all. I didn't do it.
Watch your poker face on this guy.
What nonsense is this? The autopsy report clearly states that the wound was created by a blade. If he didn't channel magic through a blade, how could he possibly have committed the crime?
Yes, your claim seems quite contrary to the facts thus far, Mr. Cuthbert. Which spell could Lord Pierce have possibly used to kill the victim?
You see, Your Honor, Garrick Pierce didn't kill the victim using a sword. He killed him using an object shaped exactly like a sword.
What?
I'm afraid I don't quite understand, Mr. Cuthbert.
I'd like for the court to take a look at Lord Pierce's spell compendium. Garrick Pierce knows a seemingly insignificant spell called Shape Liquid. With it, he can control a body of water and shape it into any complex shape he wants. Then he can freeze that liquid, maintaining its current shape. You see, it was after midnight. Wrong case, wrong game. A shape like a sword.
What? No! Is it possible that he...
What do I have to say? What do I have to say, Chris? It knows! It knows I'm voicing both of them! God damn it. What do you have to say for yourself, Lord Pierce?
That needs to go in the typo report.
No, that's feature now. What do I have to say?
What do you have to say?
What? Pronouns are confusing.
Pierce's breathing becomes more frantic. He's clearly not used to being put in a corner like this.
Not really.
You can see his stress and frustration emanating through the eye of Horus.
Anybody got any apple juice?
You have him now. Time for the finishing blow.
I think I'm having a stroke.
Argument!
Hey, I'll tell you exactly what I have to say, you commoner! I'm not the one on trial here. We're here because that bastard child didn't know her place. She's just a peasant, yet she still learned the arcane arts. And look what happened. That girl used our holy arts to murder her father in a fit of rage. Cuthbert's Tyrion having broke.
Do we present the map again? That he couldn't possibly have seen everything?
Makes sense to me. And how, pray tell, did you see everything? If you recall, you testified that you only took a single step inside the inn. But you would have needed to be within 15 feet to see my client with harmed your life. This again? If you're going to keep treading on that one detail, then I admit I stepped further into the inn. I kept that detail out of my testimony. All because I knew that you'd use it to cast suspicion on me.
That's perjury.
Lord Pierce! But you didn't just keep that detail from your testimony, did you? You testified the opposite. That makes you guilty of committing perjury. No, I mean... God, you miserable little wretch!
Garrick Pierce has openly admitted to committing perjury in the courtroom. His lies haven't gone unnoticed.
It's in the record. And let's not stop there. For your story to be true, you would have needed to be within 15 feet of my client. According to your testimony, my client had just finished committing a murder. Wouldn't she have noticed you? If you were that close, then you would have surely been close enough to apprehend her. So why didn't you? Don't you have a duty to your citizens? Then shut up! Shut your dirty peasant mouth! That woman was armed! I had no reason to put my life in danger! I was terrified when I saw her holding that bloody sword. My life was in danger!
I had to shoot him. He was reaching into his pocket. Photo.
But that can't be right, can it, Lord Pierce? This photo of the crime scene shows that the sword was left in the victim's body. How could she still be wielding her sword if she left it there? What? God, damn you! Damn you! Steelwind, why aren't you saying anything?
What? Prosecutor Steelwind has lost her usual air of confidence. Do you find it strange, though? Even when you had the advantage, she always maintained her usual poise.
Lord Pierce, please, pull yourself together! How can I remain cold when this charlatan is trying to flame me? Yes, she's trying to set me on fire! Frame me!
It's a witch hunt!
This is a complete travesty of our justice system! And what do I get? I came here to reveal the truth and testify against that criminal! And what do I get instead? Slander from some lonely defense attorney!
Steelwind had to hide the bucket of popcorn she's been munching from. Oh, that makes me think
podcast I listened to where they joked that it looked like the prosecuting attorney had like
A bucket of popcorn.
had like I forget how it came up, but they kept joking that she had like a full bar under her desk and was like dealing out drinks.
You know, some cases just be like that.
Unrelated. Okay. Slander. You've committed perjury.
You talk about justice, but you've committed several acts of perjury to twist the outcome of this trial. You're clearly not acting in good faith. You don't care about justice, you just want to further your agenda. So admit it, Pierce. You created a makeshift sword using shape liquid and you used it to impale Flintheart. You shoved my client's sword into the wound while the remnants of the real murder weapon evaporated. It was a perfect crime, wasn't it?
Oh yes, breakdown portrait.
What? Lord Pierce! My apologies, Your Honor. It's just that I realized something absolutely hilarious.
What? Has he finally lost his mind?
The defense just put forward an interesting theory. But there's one problem with it. And what's that? I think you said it yourself.
Jets less sword.
I am guilty. No. You see, it would have been a perfect crime.
If it wasn't for you meddling kids?
And your stupid dog. Because any evidence to support that theory would have evaporated with that frozen blade!
What?
No!
He's right. If he used an ice blade to kill Flintheart, it would have evaporated by now.
Then that means there would be nothing left of the murder weapon! You spun quite the tale here today. But in the end, you don't have a shred of evidence to support it, do you? You have nothing on me.
Is there anything we can do? You become quiet. Tyrion? Why isn't he saying anything? Is it really hopeless? But all it takes is one look at the expression on your face. Huh? Any worry she has instantly disappears. Because she realizes the expression on your face is the same expression you made every time you defeated her at chess.
What is this? You can glare at me all you want. It won't change the fact that you've lost. I despise people like you. You twist the system to serve your own ends. You trample on the lives of innocent people. But as long as I'm here, I will never let that happen again.
Naught can remain concealed.
Empowered I?
What did I just do?
Your head feels like it's about to burst. The pain is unbearable and overwhelming. But at the same time, you feel an extreme sense of clarity. As if you can see more than you could before.
Can't believe that peasant.
Once again, you see Pierce's thoughts through the eye of Horus. But it feels different than usual. It's more intense and potent this time. It's almost as if you can do more than just read his surface thoughts. You've activated the Empowered Eye. With it, you'll be able to do more than see the witness's thoughts. You'll also be able to affect what they think about. Project items into Pierce's mind to evoke thoughts from him. You'll want to project items that make him think about the murder. Evoking the right thoughts will raise your insight. Once the insight gauge is filled, you'll have everything you need to implicate him. project. The spell?
Well, we know he used it. The question is how. We don't know for sure, but he might have an answer.
So, the spell.
After all the trouble I went to, I can't believe that lawyer figured out the spell I used. Well, no matter. It's not as if there's any evidence to prove that I used it. I'm lucky that old fool had that bottle of water with him.
Water from a bottle? Ooh, that filled it right up!
Thank God for Dasani.
Wait, a bottle?
Well then. As riveting as this has been, I believe it's time for me to take my leave.
Hold it!
Now wait a minute, Pierce. What is it now, you wretch? I'll say it as many times as you need to hear. There is no evidence of a liquefied weapon at the crime scene.
I'm sorry, I thought he was going to say something else.
So did I.
Present the bottle?
Present the bottle. You're right, Pierce. If you did use shape liquid on a body of water, the murder weapon would have evaporated entirely. Ah, it seems that you've finally gotten that fact through your thick head. Bravo. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, Pierce. What if you didn't use shape liquid on a body of water? What if it was another type of liquid? What are you going on about?
Related, could you use shape liquid on blood?
Probably.
That would be insane.
Pierce, shape liquid doesn't just work on water. It works on all kinds of liquids. This shattered bottle contained the liquid that you cast your spell on, didn't it?
You show him the picture of the shattered bottle of lotus juice.
That bottle.
It is a liquid. Bloodbending could be a thing.
Pierce, I found this shattered bottle on the ground near the victim's body. I wonder what caused it to shatter. You must have decided to use any liquid you could find.
It's a tavern. Had a lot to choose from.
But only, well, it's a defunct tavern. Bar's probably empty. Luckily for you, the victim was holding the perfect quantity of liquid in his hands. I wonder, Lord Pierce, if we had someone analyze the broken pieces of this bottle, would we find traces of transmutation magic? You little! That still proves nothing! So what if there are traces of magic on the shattered bottle? You still don't have a murder weapon. I wasn't finished, Pierce. What? You see, the liquid contained in this bottle wasn't water. It was soda. Well, it was juice. So? What difference does that make? A blade of ice made out of water would have evaporated entirely.
But soda is sticky!
But a blade of ice made out of soda would leave a puddle of dried residue. No, it can't be. I'd wondered why there was such a circular trace of magic under the body. If we checked the outline of that trace, I'd bet we'd find a dried puddle of soda residue. That would prove that you used your magic on that soda. There's your murder weapon, Pierce. Now eat it. Drink it. And that's checkmate.
Nice catchphrase.
Bailiff, tell Orem to analyze the crime scene at once. We must determine if this puddle of soda residue exists. The time window to find traces of magic is closing.
So, we had our team search the crime scene for that soda bottle.
Edgeworth approved catchphrase. Edgeworth would like that catchphrase.
Oh yes. I really can't believe it, but we found it. In fact, the outline of the dried soda lines up exactly with the outline of the trace of transmutation magic. Broken bottle, too. There were traces of transmutation magic on it as well. There's no doubt about it. Someone used magic on that soda.
I see. Thank you, Orem. Please escort Lord Pierce back to the stand. Kicking and screaming.
What do you have to say for yourself, Pierce? What do you think you've accomplished here today? Do you honestly think you can indict me? I'm an aristocrat from the highest echelons of our society.
And a murderer.
That fool of a man was an insurgent. He was a threat to society, and I did my civic duty by removing him.
So you admit it, on the stand.
Oops.
Objection!
Bailiff, please escort the witness to a holding cell.
That'll be my pleasure. You ever had a strip search before, buddy?
Stalemate?
Bend over and cough. First-degree murder is punishable by execution, Lord Pierce. Just you remain silent, lest you incriminate yourself further.
What? You can't be serious.
Shut your insidious mouth.
What?
Well, what are you all waiting for? Take him away.
Turn your head off.
Yes, take him away at once.
Off to the touch cave. For touching.
I can't take you anywhere. I can't believe it. We actually won. Tyrion, It's all she can do to hold back her tears. At least they're happy ones this time.
You don't need to say anything. Your face says it all.
You've more than exceeded my expectations today.
Miss Timora! When did you
Oh.
learn how to teleport?
I'll be honest. When I realized that the murder weapon evaporated, I thought that the case was stopped. I can't believe you were able to turn that around.
It was just luck. If he had used water, we would have been done for.
It had nothing to do with luck. You were able to deduce which liquid he used. And you did it just by looking at a few shards of broken glass. Your skills of deduction never cease to amaze me. That's not exactly true. But with Celeste there, you can't tell her about your new ability. Maybe you should just keep it in your back pocket anyway. You all are quite lively. There's no need for such hostility. Though I wouldn't expect any less from the Hound of the Eye Taker. Wait, what did she mean by that? You glance at Ms. Tamora, but when she meets your gaze, she immediately looks away. She looks like she's focusing. Almost as if to protect herself from a certain eye. I must admit, I was hoping to test my blade against you directly. Eye Taker is a hell of a title.
Oh, yeah.
However, your protege proved to be a worthy adversary.
Thank you?
Is this some kind of game to you? Talk about trials as if there's some kind of competition. Your action almost condemned an innocent woman to death. Our system operates by having two powers of opposition. When those two powers are balanced, justice prevails. Make no mistake, your victory today was just our system working as intended. Ha! Working as intended. You know very well our system only exists to protect your people. know. What? In any case, it looks like we'll be facing each other more frequently in the future. I look forward to doing battle with you again, Tyrion Cuthbert. What a strange girl. Well, that kind of killed the mood, didn't it?
Not at all. I think we should celebrate.
Oh? What did you have in mind?
There's this amazing restaurant in the upper quarter of the capital city. They usually only serve nobles, but they let anyone in if they have enough gold.
Wait, do we have enough gold?
Of course we do. Don't worry about the details. I'll handle everything. Wait, just how much money does Miss Tamora make?
And so began my journey into the world of law and magic. Our justice system is rotten to its core, and I'll have many trials ahead. Regardless, I'll keep fighting on and get justice for every one of my clients. Achievement get!
Achievement get! I mean, you have to ask that. You can't afford her. This feeling. I knew it. His radiant soul has finally awakened. I can't believe it. I've been waiting for so long. When I can see his eyes flame in agony.
Girl, you spooky!
Well, there we go.
I forgot Creepy Dream Girl too! Yeah, I was like, whose voice is this?
Oh, don't you worry. We'll be meeting her soon enough. But I'm afraid that's a story for another time. For tonight,
so that is the end of Case 1 of Tyrion Cuthbert, Attorney of the Arcane. Next time, probably, do we want to try for Saturday?
No. We usually have other things going on Saturdays.
Okay,
And weekends in general.
that's true. Do we want to try for Friday?
Friday?
It's not a work night?
Friday might be a good choice.
Okay, so I think we're going to try to do this again on Friday. Maybe not this Friday, maybe next Friday.
Why not this Friday? I'm having fun.
Okay. Friday stream sounds good? Okay. Then we'll try this for this coming Friday at 8 to start Case 2. Until then, thanks to everyone who dropped by. If you're watching this back on the pod, again, feel free to like and comment, even if it's not for the almighty algorithm or engagement or what have you. It just makes me really happy.
We always like to hear feedback from people.
And it keeps me motivated to not just give up on this project. But until then, thanks again to everybody who stopped by, and we'll see you next time. Now, what does this button do?
No, wait, don't touch that!